안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Hello everybody.
안녕하세요, 여러분. 저희 보이세요?
We haven't done this in a while, so we were having some technical difficulties earlier, but now we are live. I hope you can see us, and yeah, we can see ourselves in the screen, and we can see your comments. Hope everything we're saying is being heard by someone.
여러분, 저희가 하는 말 들리세요?
We keep refreshing the screen. I think we got it. All right. Okay. So everybody, 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
We do have a little bit of a screen lag, so we will be looking at our own screen without the lag and also reading the comments off of the comment section. So please, this is the live Korean Q&A session where you can ask any kind of questions, any Korean related, or talk to me in Korean related questions. So feel free to ask us any questions. By the way, if you see Hyojin looking down somewhere, it's her iPad.
And
She's
I'm gonna
reading.
be reading the comments.
All right. So, 안녕하세요. Let's greet some people who've been waiting for a while.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. Is this being hosted by Hyojin? J Don W 2003 asked, and yes, partially. 그리고 두롱 메일렌 기대돼요. 그다음에 Epic Hawk, thank you. I can't wait. 그다음에 yeah, so
미국 텍사스에서도 보고 계시네요.
yeah, let us know where you are watching, and we don't see any questions yet, but
at least it's not because of massive. Oh, okay.
I see. Where is the thunderstorm going on? Yeah. So we have a lot of okay, Epic Hawk. Hey, please read this. I'm your biggest fan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we read it.
네, 다 들을 수 있어요. 안녕하세요, 제니퍼 씨.
제니퍼 씨 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 와.
Devin, Jimmy, Kayla. 다음에 Laika Wallfire. 안녕하세요. Hi from Hong Kong.
마일란 씨는 안 들린다 그러시나?
And Epic Hawk, I've been studying Korean for over a year because of your video on how I learned English without ever coming to America. Thank you for watching that video. Yeah, it took me a while for me to actually film that because the video, the end result itself was like 19 minutes.
Yeah.
And filming that like took me forever.
Of course I watched it everything.
All right, so I think we can look at the screen together. Here you can see the comments right here.
네.
Yeah. So yeah, if you have any Korean like questions that you want to ask, this is a really great opportunity for you to get answers. And also, if you didn't know about it, we also have Twitter, and we usually answer live questions on Twitter. This is like probably going to be once a week, but on Twitter we do it more often than once a week. So please feel free to ask us any questions. We're always here to help. And
안 읽고 싶어요.
Kayla, thank you. 현우 씨 정말 멋있어요.
Oregon, America, Singapore, Canada. But
네.
there is a thunderstorm going on in Ontario. I hope everyone's safe there.
Please be safe.
네.
And we have somebody from Singapore, Ben. 그다음에 Epic Hawk asked a question. This is the first question. I'm going to come to Korea in 2015. Can I meet you guys? Of course, yes.
네.
Yeah, we will be here. And if you haven't heard, of course, I think you saw it. I think I saw your comment on the video. We are opening a coffee shop
네.
in 2 weeks, so you can come to our coffee shop as well.
And how long have you guys studied English? Since I don't know, for a long time.
For me, I started really learning English when I was in high school. So yeah, that was 17 years ago.
Like we all started studying English when we were in middle school, but that's like, just beginning part of it.
Yeah.
Not everybody is interested in.
Yeah, I mean, having English classes and taking them
네, doesn't mean that you really studied it.
Yeah, you learned anything because none of my English teachers could actually speak English.
정말요?
Like none of my Korean English teachers. And 그다음에
Brazil.
Brazil.
Wow, World Cup. I'm really looking forward to the World Cup.
Yeah. Like this year, since it's happening in Brazil and not in Europe, you don't really have to like stay up all night.
But it's like 4 a.m., 7 a.m.
But you just have to get up early.
Yeah, that's really hard. But I'm going to watch it. I'm going to Korea. Okay, I read the question already.
Okay. And lovely Lisa asked, how is the coffee shop coming along? Yes, it's coming along quite nicely. We are gathering ideas, and there were so many great ideas that we had to actually, get rid of some ideas and choose
the best ones.
the best of the best ideas only. And yeah, we will start the construction real soon, and we will be sharing, of course, videos and pictures and updates about the coffee shop as it is being built.
네.
Okay, any other questions?
How do I say I'm so embarrassed? Please and thanks. Indecisive K-popper.
Indecisive K-popper.
Okay.
So how do you say I am so embarrassed?
너무 창피해요. Or 너무 당황했어요. Depending on the situation.
Yeah. The correct standard verb that you will find in dictionaries is 창피하다.
창피하다. That's more like when you did something embarrassing.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, this is embarrassing.
Yeah. 창 can be a spear, and 피하다 is like duck to avoid. So 창피하다 can be like to dodge a spear somebody throws, but it has nothing to do with that. 창피하다 is to be embarrassed, and for some reason in spoken colloquial Korean it's always 창피하다.
창피하다.
Do you say 창피하다 more often? 창피하다 more often?
창피해요.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't say either of them because I'm never embarrassed about anything.
Yeah, I can see that. Even in the situations you should feel embarrassed.
All right. So, other questions. Will you guys do a coffee shop tour once everything is complete? Of course, we will do a coffee shop video tour, and I'm sure Simon and Martina from Icho Kimchi will do some live shows there, and we will have some of our live sessions from the coffee shop directly, and of course we will have classes going on there. So I'm so excited about it. You have a lot of reasons to be excited for it. Cool.
Hi, I'm from Japan. Yay! So it's actually a decent time here.
Jessica, 안녕하세요. Hello.
안녕하세요, Australia.
그리고 how can I contact you when I arrive in Korea? You can just email us. Talk to me in Korean. Gmail. And then we read everything, although sometimes it takes us a while to get back to everything. But yeah, we can read everything. 그리고 why can Korean want to learn English but doesn't want to chat? Like so.
I think people are shy.
Yeah, Korean people want to learn English, but in Korea, my understanding, my strong opinion about the whole English learning culture here is they look at studying as something really academic, really something that they do in a very quiet room in the library, not as something that they practice, something skill that they practice. So it's a different thing. They study with the books and then they don't do any practice.
Yeah, and I think people are better than they think. A lot of people say they are on the beginner level.
I see.
But I think they are better than they think. So they are very shy to speak to foreigners or even Korean people in English.
Yeah, so people always underestimate their English skills. I mean, Korean people, so they don't want to chat, they don't want to embarrass themselves. 창피한 거 싫어요.
네.
So don't do that. And also, 그다음에
와, 알라바마.
효진 씨, 얼마 동안 미국에서 살았어요?
저요? 8개월 정도.
8개월.
시애틀에 있었어요.
8 months in Seattle.
8 months in Seattle, and I loved it.
So what year was that?
2008.
2008.
Oh, it's a long time ago.
So if you were in Seattle in 2008,
네.
yeah.
Chances were.
The weird girl that you saw all the time, that was Hyojin.
네.
And also, can I go to Korean university and major in the Korean language? I'm not sure about the details, but you certainly can.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible. I mean, we know many people who are majoring in the Korean language in Korean universities.
네.
And about the qualifications, it really depends on the
university.
Yeah,
so
so
you will have to
first,
inquire.
first pick a university that you like, and then go to their website. Most Korean university websites have English
네.
pages, and then you can read up on that. And 그리고 what about places that deny service to foreigners? What do you think? Have you seen places like
I've
that?
never seen them myself, but I saw some photos my friends took.
Yeah, I've heard stories of some places, but I mean, not maybe because I'm not, maybe I'm Korean and I don't get to see it, but I don't think it's really common though. Those like some of the places that actually do it, they are not really common, and they tend to get talked about more often. So even when you come to Korea, you don't have to really worry too much about it. But if you have specific experiences, please let us know.
Someone said 기가 막히네, 기가 막혀. 영어 단어 귀에 쏙쏙 들어오네. What does that mean?
Elisa Silva.
네.
기가 막히다 is something is amazing.
But yeah, when you saw or heard something really amazing or something ridiculous even, you can say 기가 막히다. It's like wow.
Yeah, ki is your energy, like
in your body.
qi in Chinese. So 기가 막히다, and that is kind of stopped or blocked because something is so amazing. So your energy doesn't flow anymore because it's so powerful.
Yeah.
So
it can be used in a positive situation or in a negative situation.
Exactly.
Well.
Yeah, both are fine.
네.
And then here. Is it easy for a foreigner to find a part-time job in Korea?
I would say.
Very good question.
Depending on the area.
Depending on the area and depending on how well you speak the Korean language, people always look for part-timers, of course. And if you are from another country and if you can kind of add value to their shop, there's no reason
not to hire
you. But if you don't speak Korean really well and 95% of all the customers are Korean, they have to speak Korean to you, it might be a problem. But if you speak Korean, I think out of maybe 10 convenience stores that I visit, maybe in 8 of them, the part-timers are not actually Korean. They're mostly from maybe Singapore or China or, students, international students who speak good Korean. And, you can't really tell until you talk a lot with them.
Exactly. So I see a lot of them in Myeongdong as well. In many cosmetic shops, there are lots of Chinese employees.
If you come to Korea on a work visa, you already have that job, so you can't really get any other part-time job. But if you are on a working holiday visa, especially coming from Europe or Australia or Canada, the countries where Korean people go to, it's a mutual agreement. You can get part-time jobs as many of them as possible, and also if you're on a student visa, up to a certain number of hours a day, you can do part-time jobs. And Arie 900.
I learned the phrases 상황에 따라 달라요 from your video. Can you break down what each part means in Korean?
Okay, 상황에 따라 달라요. Do you want to turn on the screen and then we're gonna switch to the other computer screen and have Hyojin. No, actually, we will do that later. Okay. Hello.
Oops.
Can you see us again?
저희 보이세요?
Okay.
I think it's working again.
All right, and then let's continue. Sorry about the technical difficulty that we just had. We were trying to switch cameras and then the camera froze. All right, let's.
So the question was 상황에 따라 달라요.
상황에 따라 달라요.
네, 상황 means situation, and something something에 따라 다르다 means it depends. It differ depending on something.
Yeah. So 상황 is situation. 따르다 is to be up to something or to follow something too. So following the situation, things change. So
네.
depending on the situation, things might change.
네,
That's
you can
what
change
it
it
means.
to 사람에 따라 달라요. Depending on the person, it's different.
And also, let's have some more comments. Let's read some more comments. Josias Costa, thank you for the nice words. This person said, "Hello, I just want to say thanks for all your hard work, and I hope someday I can speak Korean fluently." And Arya, you don't have to apologize. Your question did not break the stream. It's our camera. And Gabriel Solman, thank you for the nice words. We'll just read the comment just because we want other people to know what it's about, not because it's. Anyway, Hyunho, you're so inspiring, and Hyojin, you're so
pretty and cool. Why did you stop?
All right, Ben Lian from Singapore. Does all Korean universities teach in English or in Korean? Most classes are done in Korean.
I think depending on the major, because I majored in English language education, almost all my classes were in English.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything was English except for some non-major classes.
I see.
And all my Japanese, I took I double majored in Japanese language and literature, and all my Japanese classes were in Japanese.
Do you know a lot about Japanese literature then? Okay, wrong question. So mostly though, for non-international classes, mathematics, maybe engineering, science, there's no reason to do them in English.
I'm not sure if it was just my school, but we had this policy that certain amount of certain number of classes you have to take in English.
Yeah, like a certain percentage of classes has to be done in English. So I mean, like we went to the same university, and the dean, when they actually applied the policy, a lot of old professors who were kind of almost nearing their retirement. I mean, they all studied abroad in the States, in Europe, or in other countries, and then they were like, I have to speak English again.
And also, like, there are certain subjects that it's better to be delivered in Korean, especially like Korean related.
Yeah. I mean,
majors.
if you're teaching mathematics to Korean students who do not necessarily speak good English. Why teach that in English? But it was a huge issue in our specific university. And also, we have a lot of comments. Thank you.
I have a question. If I'm trying to become fluent as soon as possible, which would be better to focus on, grammar or vocabulary? I would say both.
Both, yeah.
Yeah, both are important.
Yeah, it is actually almost meaningless to try to choose, because without grammar, knowing 20,000 vocabulary words, which a lot of Korean university students and high school students do, they memorize more than 20,000, 30,000 English words, but they just cannot put them together. And without vocabulary, you know grammar, but you cannot really express yourself.
Sentences.
So one thing that I suggest is learn one word and think of all the situations that you would actually use the word in, and then form the sentences that you will be saying to this imaginary person or imaginary lion or whatever, and then try to learn how to say those things. And then,
or like vice versa, when you learn a grammar pattern, you can imagine the situations where you would be using, and you can think of all the vocabulary you need. Then you can look up on dictionary.
Exactly. If you saw a sample sentence in our books saying for example, Hyojin is intelligent,
착해요.
like clever. 효진 씨는 똑똑해요.
네.
And if you don't really like the sample sentence and you want to change it to 효진 is stupid or not funny, you can look up that word.
네.
I'm just giving examples,
네.
okay? And then learn it. And then since you really want to say that, you will remember things really
네.
easily. Okay. Has anyone asked about when the workbook for level 4 will be released? I've completed the textbook and want to practice.
Wow.
The level 3 workbook was really helpful and fun. Thank you. We're working on the 4th workbook,
네.
but right now we're busy with the survival Korean book that is coming out real soon.
Real soon.
We just to tell you how hard we work, we had our book designer
네.
finish everything. He finished his job.
네.
It's an outside designer, but then we kind of didn't like the design, and he didn't really like the design either. We really wanted something better, so we redid all the design, like every page.
More than a month.
Yeah.
Than we expected.
Exactly. It's sort of the same situation with Hangul Master. It took us a longer time than we initially expected, so that's why we didn't do the pre-order campaign with Survival Korean, because we had a sort of a premonition that it could take a little longer. So yeah, that's why. And
as for the workbook 4, I think it will come out around the summer or late summer.
Yeah.
Ish.
It might be a little more time, but please hang in there and study with other things that we make. And also,
how often do you guys see idols on the street? Curious.
How often do you see them?
Never.
Never?
I've never seen anyone.
Really?
Like idols? No.
Not idols, but people that you see on TV. I see them quite often. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say we see them, but I've never seen like huge idols like Girls' Generation or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've out of all the Talk to Me Korean staff members, when we talk about celebrity sightings, I think I've seen the most. But it's not like once you see one or two people, then maybe from the third person on, it's like, oh, that person looks exactly like he does on TV. And sometimes you don't even recognize the person, and you see a crowd of people following the person. And
or sometimes, because I don't really watch TV a lot, yesterday actually I saw someone and it looked like someone from the TV, but I didn't really know his name or what he does exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens.
I see. I even saw somebody when I was in London, and that guy from that TV show, and I was like, okay, he must be traveling. I don't want to bother him, so just, let him walk by. And did you see Spider-Man 2? Yes, did you?
No, okay. I heard it's not that good.
It is very good.
Really?
Yeah, who told you that?
A lot of friends of mine said it's
It's really, really good. I really liked it. And also we got a lot of so I think some people misunderstood
the concept of the
coffee shop, the situation. Ichur Kimchi and Talk to Me Korean, we posted the videos together at the same time. We timed it together so that people would know, oh, this is the same coffee shop. But a lot of people thought, oh, there's competition. We saw on Twitter. But it's not competition.
It's the same coffee shop. We are doing it together. So it's gonna be our Talk to Me Korean and Ichur Kimchi's coffee shop.
We have a name, but we won't announce it yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, we are working on the logo and the design and everything, and all the design. The theme will have our name, not our name, but the coffee shop's separate individual name have incorporated in many different parts.
So and stay tuned.
And also Juan Bustamante, do you have an easy method to remember vocabulary words?
I try to remember them in the context.
Yeah.
Remember in the situation.
That is probably the only working way. You can't try to, flashcards work, they help, but if you're working on, biology terms, even if you don't really need to know them, you're going to forget them eventually within a month. So always study within context and then use it within maybe 24 hours, 48
Yeah.
hours on Twitter or
That's
Facebook.
really
Yeah.
important too.
And also, is there a difference between should and have to in Korean? Jessica Pale, thanks for the question.
Mhm.
In English, there are, like, as an English learning student, we learn the
Yeah.
differences between
Should,
have to, should,
must, ought to.
ought to, and then you're supposed to,
네.
and then all these other things. But in Korean, 해야 되다,
Or 해야 해요.
해야 하다, they're exactly the same.
네. That's why a lot of Korean people have difficulties in learning all those different types of should, have to, must, ought to, a lot of things.
Exactly. But to give some nuance differences, people do use other words like 꼭.
꼭.
Yeah, 꼭 is
You must.
Definitely.
네.
Without fail,
네.
by all means, 꼭. And also, 해야 하다 is I have to. For example, 공부해야 돼요. I have to study. 운동해야 돼요. I have to exercise. But you can say 운동 안 하면 안 돼요. If I don't do it, I'm doomed, or it doesn't work, or I must do it. It's stronger that way. So people use other variations, but the basic form is really, really simple. 해야 되다.
They are the same.
They are the same. And I got the slang book. I love it. Thank you, Annie Ruby 92. Were you born in 1992?
Wow.
Maybe?
What did you do in
1992? I was in the middle school.
정말요?
Yeah. Taking classes that I don't remember anything from. All right. Okay. Miley Martha, I'm thinking about coming to Korea on a working holiday visa. Where do you suggest I stay? Should I rent an apartment for 6 months? Well, renting an apartment can be a little bit expensive. A lot of people choose 고시원.
고시원, it's like a really, really small room.
Yeah.
But it has everything. Even in some 고시원, there's a built-in, like, in the room, this small room, they have the bathroom, bed and desk and everything, like closet.
Yeah. I've lived in a 고시원 myself. I mean, we're talking about a room, a tiny room that is only big enough to fit in a bed, like a small bed, and then you have a little bit of space left to walk beside the bed,
네.
so that you could go to the shower room or bathroom, depending on the place, and then that's it. Or you could have a little bit of space for your desk,
네.
but you might not have enough space for a real chair. So your bed doubles as the bed and the chair. So it's like a prison cell size, really, really, even though I haven't been to a prison cell. I don't know. But anyway, that's what I know from the movies. 그래서 아주 작아요.
네, but it's cheap.
Yeah.
And you don't really need any deposit, I think.
Sometimes you do. Monthly rent will be something like $300, $400, depending on where you go. You have the internet, you have unlimited rice, although you need to cook something to eat it with. But yeah, it's the cheapest option. But if you have a little bit more budget, you can
find a one room. It's like a studio apartment.
Yeah.
But I think it's smaller than what you might think, but it's definitely bigger than 고시원 room, and it's just your own place. It has a kitchen, it has a bathroom, it has a bed, and it has more space than 고시원. Yeah,
I mean, if you do a little more research and if you find somebody that you can live with, it'll be much better than living in a 고시원, because I lived in a 고시원 for almost a year, and I can say from my experience that it made my life feel miserable because you have no sunlight, you have no window, like in most places, and even if you do, the window is smaller than the size of this laptop screen, and not really good for a long-term living. All right, let's look for some other questions. Like grammar paperbacks. So we've mentioned this before. We're hoping to restock them soon. If you don't know what we're talking about, we have lessons that you can follow from level 1, from the very beginning to all the way up to level 10. We will publish level 10 soon. But we have books for up to level 4, 3.
Right now?
Yeah, 4. Yeah, but we were not really happy with our old publishers. We wanted to change publishers, but then in the process of changing publishers, there was like some issues, so we're taking care of them. It's taking way longer than we expected, so we don't have the right to publish the textbooks because the copyright is bound with them, but we're hoping that it can be resolved real soon. And but in the meantime we have ebooks, and then we have workbooks, so you can please wait a little longer. Can you talk to me in Korean clothing? I will buy it. Can you make something?
Yeah, if you can wear them, like something that I make, would you wear?
Yeah, I mean, we've made a few before, but since t-shirt design is not our specialty, we didn't get around to making a lot of them. But if there's a really cool concept, let us know, and we might do it. Like maybe only print maybe 200 copies, 100 copies, and then we can all share. And all right, we're looking at the comments. Okay, Carlo Giordani, Jean Carlo Giordani from Brazil, I think. Hyunwoo-shi, when are you going to be father?
Actually, Kyunga and I were talking about it the other day when Hyunwoo was here. And he, before like 1 week ago or 2 weeks before now, he was so sure that the baby would come out before the due date. He was like, as if he was doctor. The doctor is like, yeah, it will come out soon. But then the due date was last Friday.
It's actually tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. So
finally,
it's not late yet, but I just before the live chat, I went to the OBGYN and 산부인과 to see the obstetrician, and we kind of we had this test, and then the contractions are not really happening right now, so I think it'll be 3 or 4 more days, so I'm really excited about it. I have prepared everything. The boy just has to be born, and then all right.
Wow, lots of questions.
Okay, Jessica says, thanks for the explanation about I have to do something in Korean, and that would explain why my Korean co-teachers keep saying I should do things. Okay, yeah, so yeah, also one funny thing about, even if you're fluent in Korean, this might help. One funny thing that Korean people always do is when they think they want to do something, they say I have to do something. Yeah, like when you want to say I want to get a haircut. How do you say that?
머리 잘라야 돼.
Yeah, 머리 잘라야 돼. I have to get a haircut. It's a cultural thing. People use 해야 돼 too often, and also people use 것 같아요. It seems like, or I feel like so and so too often. So it's a little bit excessive. So you will see that
a lot
often. And Indecisive K-popper asks again, what are the top things that we should never do in Korea?
Don't hit people, don't kill people. I mean, those things that you wouldn't do even in your countries.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do here.
Those are common sense things, but other than that, I can't really think of anything that you shouldn't do only in Korea. But I mean, as long as you respect each other, I think you are safe in any country. And Twan in Tokyo asks,
could someone find a job in Korea other than teaching English?
Yes,
but it's more difficult to find a job in a teaching area, I think.
You mean more? It's easier to find a job in the teaching industry, but it's outside of teaching. It can be a little bit tricky. You have to do a lot more research, and you have to be matched up with the perfect employer.
You have to give the reason that they should hire you over Korean people.
It's only because there are so many other Korean people. Like the unemployment rate in Korea is also very high. I don't think it's as high as in some countries in Europe, but it's somewhere like really near high. Like 10% or 8%. So it's really high. There are like hundreds of thousands of Korean people who are just waiting for a job, but then why would anybody, any employer hire somebody who's from another country, has to travel all the way to Korea and doesn't speak Korean if the job requires a lot of Korean speaking. So you have to have the reason. Like, are you a specialist for something?
Or are you good at Korean and other language that they need?
Yeah.
So there must be some reason that they should hire you.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, most employers they don't want to and cannot actually provide you with a visa if they don't meet specific requirements presented by the immigration office of the Korean government. So it's really, really difficult sometimes. And also, Dana Lee, this is awesome. I love seeing how many people are so interested in Korea and in the Korean language. Keep up the good work and fighting from a fellow Korean from the States.
Yay.
안녕하세요. 한국 분이시군요. So thank you. And also, let's check out some other questions. Okay. Chris Curry. It's a question for you. At a young age, what did you guys want to do career-wise? Did you guys ever expect you would work or form Talk to Me in Korean? I didn't know. Did you?
No.
And then at a young age, what did you want to do?
Actually, if you look at a yearbook from my 6th year in elementary school, my worry was I don't have anything that I want to do in the future. So that's been along my thing.
Is that your life goal?
Time. No, I mean I was worried because I didn't have a specific career goal.
Yeah, finding something that I want to do.
Yeah.
So she didn't have a clear idea of what she wanted to do. I think one thing that I really wanted to become was a scientist.
정말요?
Yeah, so that I could talk to aliens. Really, I'm not joking. I really wanted to find extraterrestrial beings and I didn't want to be a doctor. I didn't want to be what do you call them? Biologists. I wanted to be astronomer. An astronomer who can find ways to communicate with the aliens. But yeah, I still haven't given up on that dream. One day,
just talk to yourself in the mirror and you will feel like
oh, okay, thanks for the tip. All right. And Jason, a friend of mine and I would love to do a trilingual talk with you. English, Korean, Chinese. Oh, awesome. 석진 선생님 is my favorite teacher.
He's actually on a honeymoon
on his
now.
honeymoon now. He's been married for almost a year now, but he had
his wedding recently.
Last week. And his wife is American, so he and his wife finally were able to have the bride's his wife's parents family come over to Korea and had a wedding. So they're on a honeymoon. So yeah, please, it sounds like a good idea. Please email us. Email me, hyunwoosun@gmail. And also, Terry Ford. Does it bother you if one of your subscribers sees you on the street and stops you to chat? It doesn't bother us at all. We really love meeting people because, I mean, we teach online.
So we don't really get to see them.
Yeah, we don't know how many people are enjoying our lessons. We don't know, how we are affecting other people. So it's always good to meet up with people in real life, in person, and then talk to them. And also, one thing that I sometimes mind is getting a tweet maybe an hour later. Ha ha ha! I saw you earlier, but then who knows what I was doing. So
I was like, what am I doing?
So it's much better to come up to us and say hi. It's always lovely. Arjun Moore, how did the both of you learn Japanese? So you majored Japanese.
Yeah, but before that, I was really interested in Japanese drama and Japanese music. So in high school, we have to choose which foreign language we're gonna study, and everyone, a lot of people chose Japanese, and not everyone really studied it. But I really enjoyed the Japanese classes, so I really learned it a lot from there too.
Yeah, and for me, the first foreign country that I visited for the first time was actually Japan in 2004 or 5. I'm not sure. 5, I think. And it just was a huge shock for me because I thought
Speaking English
if
would be
yeah
enough.
if you go abroad, speak English. It's the global language, but nobody speaks English in Japan. At least nobody did back then in 2005. So I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna learn Japanese. So I did, and yes, let's see. Is it cheap to buy a house or a car in Korea, or before you guys from form talk to me in Korean? I keep reading form as from. How did you guys get to know each other? Okay, it is much cheaper to buy a car unless you're getting Mercedes or something like that. Audi.
Actually, buying a house in Korea is really, really expensive.
Yeah.
Like, really expensive. So it's hard to buy without getting a loan
or saving up for maybe 20, 30 years. So most people, after getting married, they have to wait 20 years, 25 years before they can say, oh, finally, I bought my own house. So it's like a lifelong goal for many, many Korean people. And like if you come to Seoul and if you go to any downtown area, like any major hangout area, and you see a building, an apartment building that is taller than maybe 10 stories or maybe 20 stories, like huge buildings, to buy one of those apartments, you need $1 million. So usually, or $500,000 at least. So that's just one idea. And how did we get to know each other? It's a funny story. I already had my own meetups. Like I wanted to form a meetup where I could 사람들하고 이야기하고 친구 사귈 수 있는 곳. Like I could talk to people in other languages and make friends. But then somebody introduced me to another meetup. So she was like, "Do you wanna visit this meetup? It's their first ever meetup, so why not go there?" So I went to see how other meetups worked, and then there was this girl who was speaking a fair amount of English. Like I didn't really listen to her talk very much, but I thought, okay, her English is really good. But then I turned around and talked to other people, and then turned back, and she was speaking fluent Japanese to somebody. So I was like, what is this girl doing here? What is she about? So that's how I got to know her. And before she graduated, I kept telling her, can you work for me? Can you work for me? And then that was a trap. Yeah, she ended up working for me. And then are electric engineers in high demand in Korea these days? And would they hire a foreigner? Caleb Provost? Not sure. It really depends on your... I don't think I've ever met any foreign specific skill set. Engineers. Yeah. So really, like they have to have a reason to hire somebody who's from another country. You either have to have skills that Korean engineers don't have. I guess that's the only reason they would. All right, Stephen Hofmaster. How long does it take to learn Korean fluently, approximately? Depending on how much time you spend on every day. Let me ask you, like, if somebody studies every day, really effectively, really efficiently, without wasting too much time, like trying, unuseful things. 3 hours a day. 3 hours a day. Yeah. Okay, that's quite a dedication. How long would it take? I'd say a year or two. Yeah, I would say the same. A year or two. I've seen many people who've studied Korean for a year or two for 4 hours a week and 4 hours a day. 3 hours a day, and they usually become really, really fluent. And Caleb Provost also asks, could you better explain 진심의? 진심으로. 진심으로. 진심의. All right, 진심. What is 진심? The way how you really feel or think of something. Yeah. So 심 is your heart. 진 is true or real. So true feelings. True heart, true feeling. So 진심으로 is in my true heart, or from the bottom of my heart. Yeah. So that is 진심으로, and what you wrote is 진심의, which would be of the true heart,
네.
but it really depends on the context. So
네.
would it work as a name? Not really.
Not really. I've
Yeah.
never seen anyone
But-
whose name is 진심. But I've seen people with
Yeah.
진실.
진실, which is truth.
Truth.
Yeah. And also, have you heard about, Jessica Bell also asks, have you heard about the Mars One project trying to start a colony on Mars? Yes, I have. I didn't know if it was a colony or, yeah, I mean, just visiting, or I'm not sure. But I do know that Stephen Hawking said that people would be living on the moon within 50 years, and I'm really excited about it. Okay. Excuse me. How difficult is it to move around once I arrive at Incheon Airport? Is Seoul very English friendly? What do you say?
For the first question, I say it's easier than like some other countries because we have, especially if you're coming to Seoul, we have this limousine bus. It goes all the way to Seoul,
Yeah.
like a lot of different places in Seoul, and that's really easy to take. And there's also 공항철도, the railway. It's like a train.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's really easy.
Yeah, it's easy to get around in Seoul if you can read, or if you can find your specific destination on the map. You can see that, oh, I have to go all the way up to this station and just transfer. Transferring is really, really easy. One thing to note is, even if you come to Korea and expect this limousine bus, you're not gonna see any limo or limousine.
It's just a coach.
It's a comfortable,
네.
yeah, coach. Anything else?
Ah,
Sorry. Yeah.
I want to read this one. Hyojin, I'm the one who made the hanboks for you guys. Which one did you choose? Hyunwoo only showed me the one he chose.
Yeah.
I didn't get to choose. He just gave me one.
No.
But I really liked it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
just gave one. And
Yeah. Sorry,
I really
I was
liked
just
it.
like distributing
Yeah.
one
I
by
think
one.
I got the green one.
Mm.
It was really beautiful. It was
Yeah.
a hanbok origami.
Yeah, yeah.
And Jessica sent us some hanbok origami.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
really pretty. Thank you.
All right. Any good reads or any good reads? I don't really hear a lot about the homeless, and I was
Ooh.
wondering if there were shelters and how much do they help.
I think there are shelters. And
There are shelters.
like homelesses as well. You can see a lot of them in Seoul역.
Seoul Station.
And I'm not sure how much they help the shelters.
Yeah. Korea is a difficult place, even though I haven't experienced anything in that aspect. It's a difficult place for homeless people because the weather changes so much. It's not like in other countries where the weather is warm all year round. It's super crazy cold, like
in the winter.
In the winter, and it can get really, really hot in the summer. So both in August, September, and December, January, it can be really dangerous to sleep at night outside. You can die from cold or die from the heat. So it's really difficult. So people usually gather around these open areas, like public areas like the station, but you don't get to see too many of them. Yeah.
경은 씨 보고 싶어요. 경은 씨's baby, we just saw her.
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah. Her daughter is 50 days old, I think.
50 days?
Yeah, 50 days. Yeah.
Days?
Yeah, 50 days.
I thought it was over a month.
No, 50 days is over a month.
50. I thought
Yeah.
15. I'm sorry.
So, she just posted some photos of the 50일 촬영, 50-day photo shoot.
She's growing well. And 현우 씨 아기 태어날 때 TTMIK에서 누가 나올 거예요? 아니면 누가 TTMIK 사장님이 될 거예요?
I'll still be here.
Really? I volunteer.
All right. So the question in Korean was, when my baby is born, will I still come to Talk to Me in Korean often, or who will be the owner of Talk to Me in Korean? And she volunteer. Don't worry about it. You don't have to do it. Okay. Any tips on reading long Korean text like newspaper? Good question, because we are actually preparing Korean reading lessons. Because we have grammar lessons, we have ebooks, we have vocabulary books, we have idiom
네.
lessons, but then we do not have reading lessons for intermediate and advanced learners. So we filmed a bunch of lessons on Korean reading. So we actually wrote real Korean articles ourselves, and then we made some video lessons explaining how to read, like breaking down parts. So I hope that helps. And Giancarlo Giordani also asks,
is there any situation in which you use Hanja when writing? So when I was taking notes back in college, I used to use some like simple ones.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's easier to write.
Yeah.
It's easier to write simple Hanjas, but I don't really get to use Hanja that often when writing something these days.
It's not really often, but you see Hanja everywhere. People like my age or older, they know thousands of Hanjas, like so they can read like a lot of things, and like it's only because they learned or memorized thousands of Hanja Chinese characters back in middle school. So yeah, people can read it, but writing, I like to write the date. Like
맞아요.
when you say October 12th, I write 10월 in the Chinese character and 11 because it's simpler than the Korean letters, and it looks cool.
Like people our age
yeah,
don't really know how to write them like by heart.
Mhm.
Not many people.
Yeah.
But I think we know that when we see a certain word in Korean written in Korean alphabet, Hangul, we still know that this part is from this Hanja and this letter is from this Hanja.
Yeah, it's really like it goes up. I mean, in proportion to the age. So my father, for example, he knows all the Hanjas that are out there. Like
they know how to write them.
Yeah. So he can literally. He hasn't been to China yet, but he can literally go to China or Taiwan, and he can communicate with everybody by just writing things down. He can, of course. I mean, the grammar is different, but he can write everything. But then maybe somebody who is in his 50s or 40s, they might be able to write maybe a few hundred, and I can write a few hundred maybe. But then I can read thousands, but only write a few hundred. But then younger people, they might be able to write mouth, exit, or entrance, those things, or month, day, but not like really many. And also, do you have plans to travel overseas to meet with learners? Do you have plans? I think maybe.
Maybe
we'll
or
let you
maybe
know.
not.
We'll let you know. And are there any dangerous animals in Korea one should watch out for? Mosquitoes. Just kidding. Yeah, mosquitoes are like bothersome.
There are a lot of mosquitoes, but not many of them are like deadly in Korea.
Yeah, and also Dana, is there still a high demand in Korea for native English speakers?
I think less than before though.
Yes, but still there's a high demand. And okay, who's your favorite celebrity with the same first name or surname as you? Hyojin has a celebrity that has the same name. Hyojin.
Hyojin, I like her.
Yeah, and
anyone with
my name?
Son or Hyunwoo.
What's interesting is my last name is not really common, Sun. So there is only one other person who I know about, who is also like kind of known to other people. It's a baseball player, Sun Dong-yeol. But other than that, I'm like the only person around me that has the last name, and
경화.
No, yeah, I mean, like other than Kyunghwa, like other than us, but like somebody who's on TV, or like some people that I can call a celebrity. And also Hyunwoo, I think there are more and more Hyunwoos these days. Especially there's a actor, Lee Hyunwoo, young actor from 위대하게 은밀하게, Secretly Greatly. And also let's read 3 more questions, and we have to wrap it up. Okay. What do you think Korea's chances are in the World Cup? As a soccer expert, please talk about it.
I hope we advance to the round of 16.
Round of 6. What is that?
I just made it up. And if we can go further, I think that's great.
Yeah, but
I think Brazil or Germany will win.
I see. Brazil already won 5 times, so
well, it's their country.
They don't have to win again. Any other questions? Do you want to answer? Satiko 874.
Hey guys, I'm from Brazil. You guys have any plans to come here? I wish.
Yeah, I don't think any of us actually is going this year, but one day. Eternal await. I missed the live stream. You didn't miss it because you're seeing it right now, but like maybe you missed the first part. But I'll watch the whole thing once it's done. Just want to say thanks for the Talk to Me in Korean site. I've learned a lot. Thank you so much. Yeah, I guess that's it. If there's just wait a second. We have some more questions. What's the best way to learn Korean? Yeah, I mean, if you just study, and if you feel like it's not really working for you, you have to find a different approach. You have to like apply what you learned as well. So please find a way to apply something. Like studying doesn't really work, and you can see like millions of examples here in Korea among English learners, because they just study and then they don't really apply.
I saw an interesting question. At the risk of being an awkward question, how common and what is the most people's stance on dog meat consumption in Korea?
Granty Boy 2, thanks for the question.
Yeah, I think it's a great question.
It's a great question. Do Korean people eat dog meat, or what is people's opinion? It's not really common, and it's like only a minority of people, but
there are people eating.
But you know what? Keith from Solistic actually asked me to join him on a video about this topic. So you can wait for a detailed explanation on this topic on solistic.com. You can check out their website. And actually, he's going to come to my house, and we're going to record it with my puppy. So we'll hear his opinion too.
I saw a very funny photo yesterday, and it was like a bunch of puppies like Coco, just like Coco, poodles with brown like hair, and it looked like in that angle it looked like they were like chicken.
Oh, yeah, I mean they can.
Yeah. It was funny.
All right, Juan Bustamante, when are you going to make another Q&A? We the Solistic Q&A. You can ask Keith. I think he's referring to that.
Okay, I'm not sure when Keith asks me. And coolest area in Seoul? Wherever I am. I'm sorry.
So make sure you take Hyojin's word for it and follow her everywhere. Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. We will do this live session next week.
네.
But in order, like, we don't want to have people miss the live show because of the time difference. So we will try some different times.
Yeah.
So today we did it at 11 a.m. Korea time on a Wednesday, but we will do it again on a Wednesday, but 5 p.m. Korea time next week, so that more people can watch it. But if you cannot make it next week, we'll do it at the same time the week after.
네.
So you can come back in 2 weeks.
여러분 재밌었어요?
네. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and thank you so much. And if you're watching the live, like recorded version.
Sorry, I just saw an interesting question. How can I get a job at Talk to Me in Korean? You have to fight Hyunwoo, and you have to defeat him. And be the boss.
I see.
That's what I'm gonna do.
All right, I'm gonna train taekwondo.
네, 여러분. I'm from London and watching this at 4 a.m. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much.
네, 여러분 그러면은 다음 주에 또 볼까요?
Yeah. All right. See you next week. Bye bye.